I'm going to start letting folks in, and then we can.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. If you're just joining us, this is the 2022 Renters Alliance Building Community Celebration on Zoom. We've just opened our doors.
Can you just check? It's right here. It's saying
waiting for our guests to arrive, and of course, pouring
I can't hear anybody.
a fine. We
Okay,
can hear
why don't
you.
you leave and try to come back?
We can hear you.
That's it. It's not it. I think it's about
Your speaker,
is not working.
please check your connection. Use a different speaker.
Thank you, Matt. I'll let her know.
Mhm.
Hey, Jamie. Hi.
Hello, Congressman.
Thank you for defending democracy, Congressman
Yeah.
Raskin.
Councilmember Stewart.
Well,
Hello,
as
Senator
promised,
Lee.
as promised, we're going to rock and roll through this thing this evening. So let me just say a couple of things real quick before we get rolling. We're waiting for the Lieutenant Governor-elect's tech issues to be resolved. She's with us, but let's start toasting and get going until she's ready. But let me say a few things. If you're not speaking, if you could be on mute so we have no background noise. If you could be on your camera, we'd love to see your smiling faces. We're not doing anything controversial tonight, so there's no reason to do anything except smile and have a good time. And we've got a lot of people who are taking time out of extremely busy schedules to come stay a minute or two with us. And so that's basically how it's going to go. We have a list of how the toast is supposed to go, and I promise you it's not going to work out that way. So if you'll rock and roll with us, that will be great. But we're just having a good time. And my name is Matt Losack. I'm co-founder and executive director of the Montgomery County Renters Alliance. And with me moderating this evening is the chair of our board of directors, William Roberts. William, perhaps you could introduce our congressman while we're waiting for the lieutenant governor, because I know he is busy defending our democracy as we speak.
Well, my pleasure. I'm happy to do that. And likewise, welcome everyone to our, I think the third year in a row that we've been virtual for the Building Community Celebration. And we always have a good time rocking and rolling. So we're happy to see you on your Zoom screens and look forward to seeing you for the celebration in person and a year coming to you soon. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing somebody who everybody knows really well, which is our phenomenal Congressman representing the Maryland's 8th Congressional District, defending democracy, as Senator Susan Lee said, the Right Honorable Jamie Raskin, who I had the pleasure of working with for many years as legislative director. Jamie needs no introduction, but Jamie, I just want to echo what everybody is saying. Thank you for representing us so well in Congress, but especially in these trying times. We know what you've been up late working on, know that you got a big day coming up on Monday. So we just thank you for defending democracy, Jamie, and all the work that you've been doing throughout your entire career. And germane to the Renters Alliance, thank you for standing up and being a friend of renters and tenants. Folks may not know that before the Renters Alliance even got started, way back when Montgomery County, under County Executive Leggett, commissioned the Tenants Working Group to get folks in the same room, working together, rowing together on how to advocate for tenants. Jamie was right there as a state senator and has been a stalwart champion of renters at the state level, at the local level, and at the federal level. And so, Jamie, we thank you for all that you're doing, and I'll kick it over to you. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, and you're muted.
Thank you, dear Will, for that lovely introduction. I miss you as my legislative director, but I've been following your career with so much pride and so much hope. And so thank you for everything you do for our community and specifically with the Renters Alliance. Matt, thank you for your extraordinary passion and perseverance over the years on this. I want to toast you guys for hanging tough for democracy globally, nationally, locally. The whole point of having democratic government is so that we can make it an instrument of the well-being of the people. And your group embodies that mission. Nearly half, I think, of our people in Montgomery County are renters. It might be over that now, I don't know, but it's basically half of the people. And so just like we make significant and important investments in homeowners and the production of people's homes, we've got to make significant and important investments in the people who are tenants and who are renting, to make sure that the rents are affordable, even in an expensive jurisdiction like ours, and that people are living not just in habitable conditions and decent conditions, but good conditions everywhere. So I'm involved in an effort right now with some members in both the House and the Senate to try to get the Biden administration even more focused on this, to get HUD engaged in making rent manageable and getting the FTC to treat price gouging and excessive rental prices as an unfair trade practice across state lines, to get the Federal Housing Finance Agency involved in curbing illegitimate price gouging mechanisms, and generally putting the federal government on the side of the millions and millions of people who are renting, because it's a very tough and expensive time for people at all ages, young people just starting out renting their first apartment, long time tenants who are on a fixed income. Everybody is getting squeezed, and so we got to do whatever we can. So anyway, I wish I could stay all night, because I've very much enjoyed doing this with the Renters Alliance the last couple of years, but we are literally finishing up the final touches on the January 6th report, and I got to get back to work on it tonight.
If I had a penny for every time I heard that excuse.
Yeah, you'd have at least a nickel from me. But,
At least, Congressman, we need to toast you. You can toast us, but we're going to toast you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. It is an honor to have you as our congressman. Thank you so much.
all my best to everybody, and happy holidays and happy New Year.
Thank
Same
you.
to you.
Jamie.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Congressman.
Jamie.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care.
Will, I
Thank you so
believe
much,
we've
Jamie.
got our Lieutenant Governor-elect with us.
I do see her, absolutely, and so happy to keep it rolling. Good evening, Aruna.
Good
Lieutenant
evening.
Governor-elect Miller, excuse me, let me not be so formal, even though we know that we're all friends here. But thank you so much for joining us. So let me again, another person who needs no introduction, but let me introduce her anyway. So we're happy to have with us the Lieutenant Governor-elect of our state, the phenomenal Aruna Miller, who many folks know as I do as a former delegate in D15. Aruna was my delegate, so happy to have that claim. And I must share this story, Aruna, even though it's freezing outside. I have to say, while we were standing out at the polls during the primary, Aruna Miller is the only candidate for statewide office who brought folks ice cream to our early voting site, and I remember that well. Aruna walked up and said, "Are you all hot? You want some ice cream?" She turned around, came back 15 minutes later, passed out ice cream. That's just the service you're going to get from Aruna Miller. But in all seriousness, Aruna's also been a real champion and supporter of renters' rights and tenant advocacy. And so we know, I know, especially as a member of the transition committee working on housing issues, but know how critical tenant issues are going to be in terms of a focus for Lieutenant Governor Miller and Governor Moore and their administration. So we're really happy to have you, Aruna, as a partner, but also we're really thrilled to have you representing all of us, and look forward to your inauguration in a few short weeks. And I thank you for making time to be with us tonight. I'll turn it over to you, but welcome Lieutenant Governor-elect Aruna Miller.
Why, thank you so much, Will, for your lovely, lovely introduction. Can everybody hear me? Okay, so I was having some major technical difficulties, right? We've all faced them. But good evening and happy holidays, everyone. It is great to be joining you all at the 2022 Building Community Celebration. To Matt, to Will, to every one of you, thank you for what you do. I am so excited to be here and grateful to have this opportunity to publicly thank the entire team of Renters Alliance for your advocacy day after day, year after year, to secure affordable quality rental housing, and to have not just that, but the foresight to see and build community within apartment complexes. So again, thank you to Matt for your leadership as executive director, to Will Roberts, to all of you. This journey with Governor-elect Wes Moore began just about a year ago. In fact, I think on December 18th, maybe exactly a year ago, when we did our launch in Montgomery County. And he basically said that I was joining his ticket, and wow, what an incredible journey it's been since then. Look, during this time, we traveled across Maryland, meeting our neighbors and listening to what matters to them most. And I can tell you, of the top issues we heard repeatedly across the state, from every corner of the state, from Mountain Maryland to the Eastern Shore, to urban areas, to suburban areas, that the most important issues were accessing economic opportunities, earning a decent living, having more equitable transportation options, and access to affordable housing, which includes not just home ownership, but fair and equitable treatment of renter households. Look, we all know that over 30% of our residents are renters, and they're disproportionately our most vulnerable residents, including women, religious immigrant, ethnic minorities, communities of color, persons with disabilities, and seniors. And they're also the same people who encounter the greatest discrimination as it relates to renting. So safe, clean, affordable rental place to live for tenants should never be a tool for making profits. It's about dignity and creating communities. So Governor-elect Wes Moore and I campaigned on the promise to leave no one behind, and it's a promise we intend to keep. You will have a partner in Annapolis. We look forward to working together with you, with all the elected officials that are here today who have been championing renters' rights throughout their whole career, and who have joined us this evening. Thank you all for giving your time, your talents, your expertise to make our county and our state a better place for all. So on behalf of Governor-elect Wes Moore and our team, it is with great gratitude that I offer cheers to the Renters Alliance for working with heart and purpose. Thank you for your commitment to Marylanders. Thank you for everything you do. Happy holidays to you and your families.
What an honor, Lieutenant
Thank
Governor.
you.
What an honor.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Will, the congressman had to jump off, but I believe one of our tenant leaders, Nolu Crockett Ntanga, is next.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody. Hold it. We're on live, folks. Well, as you can see, we have community here at Sanctuary. Co-president over there. Whoops, that way. Anyhow, we got community at the Sanctuary. Here. And we want to thank Matt and his team at the Renters Alliance for all the support and encouragement that he has given us from the very beginning. Our building opened in 2018, August 2018. And it's a wonderful facility. We invite all of you to come visit, and we have a great patio and a community room, and let's just get to know each other. And Matt has really, and the Renters Alliance and Malik here as well, have been so helpful to our community. Because as we know, this renting situation is broke, okay? So we got the little raise from Social Security, for which I'm very grateful, right? And the renter people, they just, every little thing that you get, they're trying to take it, right? In terms of increases and so forth and so on. The situation is broke. It needs to be fixed. I'm so grateful to hear our wonderful, amazing Congressman Jamie Raskin looking at it from a federal level, because it just cannot continue like this, where your rents are. I have a friend in New York whose rent went up by $500. Can you imagine? Is your salary going up by $500 a month? I don't think so. So anyhow, we're so grateful for Matt, the Renters Alliance, the whole team. We're so grateful for our new president, I should say governor-elect, and our amazing lieutenant governor-elect. I am convinced that now is the time to get something done. And we as senior citizens, older adults, 62 plus community, I am 72, right? This is what 72 looks like. Glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. But my point is, our community, we don't have a lot of money, but we do have time. So whenever you need to get us on a bus, to get to Annapolis, to testify in front of the council, because we all got our stories. We are there because, as that old chant goes, the people united will never be defeated.
I'll drink to that, Nolu. Thank you.
And a toast to you. Yes.
But if you all keep going on past your 1 minute mark, I'm gonna have to open a second bottle.
I'm too excited. That's all they're telling me.
All right, and Nolu, you're introducing, if he's here, Councilmember Jawando, but I don't see him, so why don't you introduce?
My favorite council member.
He may not be on just yet. I know he was juggling. So why don't you introduce, who do we have here? Let's do,
I believe Kate.
Councilmember Kate Stewart.
There she
That's
is.
right.
Why
That's
not?
right.
We love Kate. Go ahead, Nolu.
I used to live in Tacoma Park, which will always just have such a dear spot in my heart. So it is my honor to introduce our latest member of the council, Kate Stewart.
Thank you so much, Nolu, and everyone tonight. I'm glad to be here, and I am excited. I think at the moment I am the only one of the 6 incoming women on that, or not incoming. We're actually, sorry, the last 2 weeks have been a lot. We were actually sworn in 2 weeks ago, so we're not incoming anymore. We are actually it. The 6 councilwomen who are now on our county council. We have a majority of women, and we have the most diverse county council that we've ever had in Montgomery County, and it's very exciting. And at the top of the list for many of us is housing issues, and particular renter protections. And one of the things that we want to hit the ground running and work on with all of you is putting in place policies and programs such as rent stabilization, so that we ensure that people have safe, stable, and reliable housing. You know, many times people who ask me the question about rent stabilization are a little skeptical about it. I always say that I think the people, everyone, renters and homeowners, should be able to plan for their futures and their families' futures. And that means knowing how much they're going to have to pay on their housing each month and each year. And if, as a homeowner, I get to plan that and know that, I think renters should have that same stability and predictability in their lives. And so that's why I support rent stabilization and look forward to working with my colleagues like Councilmember Jawando, Councilmember Mink, and Lori Ann Sales and Natalie Fani Gonzalez as we work on this together. In addition, I'm just very excited to work with all of you. I am going to be chairing the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee. And I know that might sound like, oh, that sounds a little boring, but in fact, it is a very exciting committee that oversees the fiscal policies as well as the racial equity work in the county and many of our committees. And so one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is talking more about our government operations and getting you all involved in that so that you can help me make the changes that we need in the county so our government is more inclusive and responsive to your needs. So with that, I just want to thank you all for showing up today, and I look forward to working with you in the new year.
And we're going to go back quickly to Vicki Price. So Kate, if you could introduce the renter champion, renter activist, Vicki Price.
It is my great honor to introduce Vicki Price. Thank you, Vicki, for coming out tonight and for your years of service and advocacy. And we're so glad to see you this evening. Oh, but we can't hear you. Matt,
Okay.
can you?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, all right. First of all, I need to save my bacon with Matt Losick and let him know that I was here when the meeting started, except that I had to sign out twice in order to get my physiognomy on the screen. I didn't know how to do it. I hate newfangled technology. But anyway, I have actually nothing but praise for the Renters Alliance. And actually we had an incident tonight that basically reflected what I'd been through 16 and a half years of Charter House, senior citizen building, brand new one that I'm in. And a neighbor had just come from the hospital, fell out of her bed. No one had a key, and fire department had a trouble, and paramedics had trouble actually reaching and getting in touch with the management, the owner, same thing. So now they're going to have to break down the door, which means there is an unsecured door in the apartment. And I went through that at Charter House and just went through it with a next door neighbor. So in my opinion, seniors really need some priority as a protected class. Some system has to be put into place, not just to keep the resident secure and safe, but also the apartment in case of an emergency. But I will say on Matt Losick's behalf that the Renters Alliance and Matt Losick, the 16 and a half years that I was at Charter House, saved our bacon, even though I don't eat it, multiple times. At Charter House, as an example, a previous management company wanted us, and I testified on this, wanted the residents to sign a Virginia lease and threatened us with eviction if we didn't sign it. So I got in touch with Matt, who got in touch with Rosie McCray Moody at Landlord Tenant and our board, and I was a member of the board, and we all actually fashioned a workable lease so that the residents would no longer feel threatened. And I really can't even enumerate the times that the Renters Alliance, AKA Matt Losick and Chris Perry, have had to intervene. And our Montgomery County residents would be in, what's the word I want? They'd be in so much unnecessary trouble and experience so much fear without the Renters Alliance. And from some of the reviews that I see about properties in Montgomery County, it makes clear to me that not enough of them know about the Renters Alliance, or they would know what their rights are.
Well, then I'm going to drink to toasting our increased funding this coming year.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that we have more staff to do outreach, exactly what you're talking about. Vicki, I know, listen, I'll take all the praise I could get, whenever I could get it, right? Lieutenant Governor, we'll take it. But for now, let's just toast, say thank you. And I thank you on behalf of the Renters Alliance. It's not just me. It's a lot of people working to make this happen. So on behalf of everyone who works for the Renters Alliance, including you, thank you. We toast.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Vicki, for all you do. Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. You know what? I think it's time for the
I believe so. I believe so. Is
She is
Charlotte
here.
doing that intro? Oh, I see her. I see her. There we go. Well, another friend. Everybody here is a friend, but let me introduce a longtime friend of mine, going back to our Young Dems days when we were young. So District 18's delegate Emily Shetty, who's the vice chair of our delegation, as Matt said, just a stalwart champion for Montgomery County. Hey, Emily, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Hello, my friend. Hello, friends. It's so wonderful to be here with you tonight to toast some big successes that we've had in Annapolis this year electorally, and all of the exciting, amazing movement that we're going to see in the next couple of years. I cannot tell you how proud I am to be part of Team Montgomery County and Team Maryland as we enter this new era with Lieutenant Governor-elect Aruna Miller, with Governor-elect Wes Moore at the helm. We have some truly, truly amazing people who care so deeply about our community, who care so deeply about making sure that not a single person in Maryland is left behind. And it's not a slogan for them. I've seen how hard they work to really be present and be active listeners and brainstorm incredible policies. And I know that on day one, we're going to hit the ground running in partnership with them to support the amazing work that we're going to do at the state level, to support renters, to support people here in Montgomery County, across the state of Maryland as well. And so I could not be more proud to serve as the vice chair of this delegation of incredibly talented lawmakers, incredibly talented public servants, and also a massive toast to our historic county council, majority women. It's amazing. I'm so proud. I'm so excited to say hello to my council member, Kate Stewart, who's amazing, and to be here this evening, just toasting not just the progress that we've made, which has been necessary and could not have happened if not for the Renters Alliance and all of you here around this Zoom room, but also to say that more is coming. And I did not mean that as a pun to our governor-elect. But I'm so thrilled to be here working for you with this incredible team. And you can count on me anytime you need anything. Please feel free to reach out. I'm here for all of you and looking forward to continuing our work and partnership together. So cheers to you all.
Cheers. Thank goodness somebody finally said, let's drink.
Thank you so much, Emily.
Can I introduce my friend after?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it is my privilege to turn the floor to my very, very good friend, District 19 Delegate Vaughn Stewart. We work closely together on housing issues here in Montgomery County as the chair and vice chair of our elections, housing and education committee here in the Montgomery County delegation. I am so impressed by him. He has been a stalwart advocate for immigrants' rights, for housing rights, for everybody. And he does it with this sweet, funny, jovial attitude. And it has impressed so many people all across the state. And so I'm proud to partner with him, and I cannot wait to turn the floor over to him. So take it away, Vaughn.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair Shetty. Awesome to say that. Congrats on your new role. Great to be with everyone tonight. I have to say, Vice Chair Shetty is not only a really fantastic legislator, she's also just a genuinely kind person. In fact, so much so, I'm actually a little bit jealous. My son met her at a Christmas party a couple of weeks ago, and she has now overtaken me as his favorite delegate. So I'm fortunate that while District 18 and District 19 border each other, hopefully Emily and I will never be drawn into the same district, because I think I've officially lost a vote to her. But I appreciate those kind words. It's so great to be amongst so many friends. I'm like Emily, I'm so excited and so optimistic about the next legislative session and the next 4 years. And most of that starts with our governor-elect, Wes Moore, who is brilliant and is going to be awesome. And of course, our lieutenant governor-elect, Aruna Miller, who has long been one of my favorite elected officials and public servants in the county. And I just could not be more happy for her and more excited to work with her for the next 4 years. I joined the Renters Alliance about 8 years ago now. Matt, I don't know, can you believe it's been that long? But it was
been so much fun. It's been fast.
There we go. I actually tried to start a tennis association in my own building, and we had a meeting, and then Council Member Elrich was there, then State Senator Jamie Raskin was there, and the landlord called the cops on us. And we still had the meeting, but that started my involvement with the Renters Alliance. And since that time as a board member, it's been amazing to watch the organization grow and continue to empower more and more renters across the county. And I'm just generally a firm believer that housing is a human right. But, as a legislator, I found that unfortunately, elected officials like myself are better at repeating that phrase, better at saying the truism, housing is a human right, than actually ensuring through legislation that housing is a human right. So in that vein, I'll offer an old Irish toast for us this evening. Champagne for our real friends, real pain for our sham friends.
Here, here, here.
And now I'm going to introduce a renter activist and a mother of two who knows firsthand just how important it is to have a stable home and to make sure that a stable home is a guaranteed right. And with that, I give you Lindsay Bowie.
Thank you so much for that very wonderful introduction. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's so amazing to move forward in the next year with so many partnerships and so many people that we can, friends, as we've called each other here. It really means a lot to me and everyone else to know that we're going forward as a community. So I'll just do a quick toast to everyone here, and then I'll drink something. Okay. I would like to introduce Mark Elrich. Mark Elrich actually was born in Washington, D.C., if you don't know, and has always been a resident of Montgomery County and has always been a friend and champion of renters in our community. And so I would like to introduce him right now, and thank you for your time.
Hey, so thank you all so much. This is exciting. It's kind of fun. I've known Matt a long time. And, our first encounter was when we were dealing with the then county executive Leggett had produced a report on renters and affordable housing. And we looked at the report and discovered that there were no renters on the committee. And this is all developer work. And we talked about it, and we were able to convince Ike to create a second committee with a diverse group of people on the committee that reached sort of different conclusions about what kind of things we needed to do. And out of all this comes Renters Alliance and all the work that was done. And so, their work, I think, has been invaluable. So we're going into a new year now. I have sent over to the council members a kind of draft for a initial rent stabilization bill. We will be sending over a bill that requires replacing existing affordable housing. If you knock down a building, you have to replace the affordable housing units that are there. We're doing our first discussions about creating an entity to do social housing, having the county buy property, look at examine the property for what can be built there, actually build contract for the building of units that would be available and affordable to mixed income people, much as the model in Europe is. And it's not a public-private partnership where you get a certain number of affordable units. It's where you purposely build a building to serve targeted populations with a range of incomes. And so we think we can do this. And so we're talking with partners in the county government for how we are going to go about doing it. And we may already have 2 projects lined up where we can do this little experiment with. If it works, it's going to change the way we're able to do things in the county. So I want to thank you all for your perseverance. We are going to continue to work to make this place more livable and more welcoming to everybody. I've always felt what an earlier speaker said was so true. If you own a house, you know what you're going to pay. You can plan your life for the next 20 or 30 years. If you rent, you have no idea what you're going to have to pay, which means you have no idea what kind of job you're going to have to move up to, because your old job probably won't meet the needs of the rent that's going to require you to get a new job. So we're excited about the prospect of working together. And we have a great team in Annapolis. We speak the same language, and particularly the leadership at top. Aruna, thank you for being here. Wes Moore. Wes was talking about raising the minimum wage sooner than later. And Aruna, how about we do, everybody gets to 15 this year, and then over the next 4 years, we get to 20. Then we're talking, because, the affordable housing problem is ultimately a wage problem. And the higher the wages are, the less the crisis is for people affording housing. So let's work together on these things. It's a great opportunity. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years. And Matt, I'm in my office, so I don't have a liquor cabinet.
Well, we know you've got coffee somewhere.
I've got coffee, so drinking my coffee and toast to all of you.
Sure, and thank you, Mr. Elrich. We know you've been a champion with us from the very beginning. And if you could wave a wand, it would all be solved.
Would have been.
Lieutenant Governor Miller, we know that you're juggling multiple tasks, as we expect you to. And we know you can't stay with us for the rest of the evening, but I would like to again offer our gratitude for the honor of your presence this evening, and for our hope and optimism that we will work closely with you and Governor Moore in the future to secure renters' rights in Maryland that have never been seen before. So thank you for joining us this evening.
My honor. Thank you for having me, everyone. And thank you again for everything each and every one of you do to make sure our renters have an equitable place here in Montgomery County and throughout the state. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Cheers to you.
Thanks, Aruna.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, Rena. You're the best of the best.
Oh, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Now, we have not forgotten Charlotte Hugh, who is one of our renters. Charlotte, can you hear us? If you turn off your, I'm asking you to turn off your thing. Let's see if you can get you. If not, do you hear us, Charlotte? All right, well, Charlotte will join us when Charlotte joins us. Will, who's next?
Put me on the spot there.
It's Dr.
That's
Robinson.
right.
Mark,
That's
you know
right.
Dr. Robinson. Do you want to introduce her?
Hi, Dr. Robinson.
Hi.
We've been a partner in, trying to bring progress to Montgomery County. You're brave, you're outspoken, you're willing to take difficult positions and put people in difficult positions. So I want you to know that I appreciate that. It is sometimes
been a long day.
necessary. So thank you.
Well, I guess I have to say thank you to all that, but it's always with a purpose, always with a purpose. So let me begin my toast with a quote, and it's from Helen Keller, and it says this: "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." And so my role is to offer a toast. And I would like, dear friends, to say, may this toast that I lift, it's inspired by the beauty of the diversity and commitment of our community, our county, Montgomery County, and the residents, the advocates in government, nonprofit sector, the faith communities, and many others who speak up and out about renters who are housing burdened in this wonderful county. So may I salute all of you for what you're doing to remind us every single day of the value of making Montgomery County a safe and affordable place to live for all who call Montgomery County home. Many blessings.
Cheers to that, Dr. Robinson. Thank you. I'm going to rock and roll with the program as we said we would do, because Senator Susan Lee, who is we are honored to have with us is in West Virginia, protecting our nation on a cybersecurity conference, and was the first to arrive. So we're definitely going to give her a little minute or two to toast. Welcome, Senator Lee.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I keep getting beamed in that. I think in West Virginia, the internet's not so good. Anyway, thank you, Matt Lotzak, for your exemplary work and your whole leadership team. Also, Chris Perry and also Will Roberts for all your work, but especially all the renters, advocates, and everyone who has done everything to make a change and to protect the rights of renters and to ensure that we have affordable housing for those, some of our most vulnerable communities. I thank you all always for coming down to Annapolis to help us pass good bills to protect renters' rights and also to ensure that affordable, safe housing is available to everyone, which should be a fundamental right. I am just pleased that you're going to pursue and continue your advocacy and work in Annapolis. And anything that I can do, please don't hesitate to call on me. And I salute all the renters advocates and particularly the Renters Alliance leadership team, everybody for all the work you have done and for making a huge difference in the lives of countless individuals in our state of Maryland. And after I give the toast, I want to introduce our next activist. I give a toast to all of you and thank you so much for all that you do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Now,
Cheers.
I'd like to turn the podium and I'd like everyone here to recognize our wonderful dynamic activist, Pat Beckham. Can you give her a hand? Thank you, Pat, for all that you do. We salute you too on this day. And now I turn the floor over to you. Please continue your exemplary work. And I look forward to seeing you in Annapolis and everyone else.
Pat, are you still with us? Can't find you. And if
I
you're
see you.
not, you're going to
Pat's
lose
right
this
here.
moment because
No,
then
Pat's here.
Will Roberts is going to introduce our senator.
Pat's here. Pat, are you able to get off of mute? I see you. There you go.
Hello,
There she
everyone.
is.
Happy holidays to everyone. I guess I'm to introduce Nicole.
No,
Well,
you
give
go
us
ahead,
a
Pat, and
toast,
then I'll.
Pat,
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
You're
give
going
us
to
a
say
toast. And
something
then
nice about renters.
we're modifying the schedule a little bit.
Well,
Pat, so why don't you
I'm
go ahead?
also a renter in downtown Silver Spring and happy to have found Renters Alliance because they do so many wonderful things. I am a retired registered nurse and I like helping people. I've always liked helping people and happened to stumble into Matt and he's done so many. I was kind of skeptical at first, but he has proved to be really dedicated to helping renters. So I feel blessed to have met him and to help out where I can. It's just been wonderful. Renters Alliance, wherever I go, I try to promote the organization because I think it does just wonderful things. And I'm not used to saying things I don't believe. So I actually would like to salute Renters Alliance myself and thank everyone for all of their work out in the community, setting up tables, giving renters or anyone who wants it a lot of relevant information and resources that they may need. So it's a good thing, as the young kids sometimes say. They do good work. So
I'll drink to that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
Pat, we want to thank you for all of your work. Your good work helps to inform our good work. So we thank you so much, and we're happy to have you as part of this family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. We are rocking and rolling. We might as well be a band. But we're gonna go. I'm gonna introduce my friend and the phenomenal District 20 State Senator, our friend, and the phenomenal District 20 State Senator Will Smith, who's also the chair of the I forget the acronym for JPR. Well, on the spot.
Judicial Proceedings Committee.
There you go. Judicial
There you go.
Proceedings. That's right. There we go. There we go. It's a Friday. It's the holidays, but really happy to have Chairman Smith with us, who's a friend of the Renters Alliance and a champion for renters in Montgomery County and across the state. So take it away, Senator Smith.
Hey, well, thanks, Will, for the introduction. Good evening, beautiful people. I know we're a couple drinks in and it's Friday night, so I'll be quick. I just want to talk about a few things that we've done in the General Assembly over the last 3 years, and then talk about kind of our path forward, because we've got a long way forward before we reach that pinnacle that we all want to do. In 2020, we passed the HOME Act, which said that regardless of your source of income, you would not be discriminated, including that all-important housing voucher. We had that in Montgomery County, and we had that in Tacoma Park when now Councilmember Stewart was mayor. And it was because of the example here in Montgomery County, because of the Renters Alliance and their hard work, that we were able to plus that up and scale that up statewide. We created a first in the state right to counsel, access to counsel for landlord-tenant issues, and we also funded it. We also created a notice requirement for non-renewal of leases. We extended it from 30 days to 60 days. And we created a right to redemption, meaning that for that COVID funding. So meaning that during the period of COVID, which we're still very much in, that if you had that COVID relief money, you had to take that. The landlords had to take that before anything else. So we've done a lot of hard work in the General Assembly, but as my colleagues have mentioned, we have a long way to go. And I just want to say thank you to the Renters Alliance for not only your expertise, but your presence in Annapolis. Before I sign off, I do want to say I see Vicki Price. That is my girl right there. She is a mentor and a dear friend, and it's good to see you on Zoom. It's been it's been too long, so I hope to see you soon. Matt, Will Roberts, the rest of the board, Chris, thank you for all your work and your partnership and your friendship. I know that we've got a lot of hard work in the General Assembly ahead, but I'm looking forward to working with you all in the months and years to come, especially with this new administration underway. And I think, Will, is it my responsibility to introduce Chris?
It
Perry?
is indeed. You have one veteran to another, one serving member of our military introducing a veteran from Vietnam. I think it seems appropriate.
Excellent. Well, hey, Chris, it's my honor to introduce Chris Perry, our next speaker. Good to see you, a fellow veteran, someone whom I've come to respect and admire, and thank you for your mentorship. Chris, I know that, I don't know if you learned this in officer candidate school or boot camp, but we always there was a saying they taught us. They said, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. And the model there, the lesson there is that as you age into expertise, never forget what you were like when you were the beginner, and that the possibilities seemed endless. So together, I think we move forward with endless possibility. And so from one veteran to another, Chris, good to see you tonight. I'll holler at you soon.
Will, my pleasure as well, and thank you for your service. Matt, my script says that I'm supposed to introduce Delegate Lee, and if she's still around, I would like to say,
you're relieved of that. You're relieved, as they say in the military, of that task. Why don't you give us a toast? And
you also turned your camera off,
I think
Chris.
I saw Delegate Laura Charcuti, and there she is. So why don't you give us a toast and introduce our delegate? Can you hear me, Chris?
yes, I can. Stand
Okay,
by
so
one.
give us a toast first. Give us a reason to toast.
We can't see him.
Well, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Rather than putz around with the technical problems that inevitably accompany Zoom, I will cut to the chase and say I am so happy that Kate Stewart is my new representative on council, and I look forward to working with her and the rest of what I think is deservedly and powerfully diverse council that we've needed for a long time. I look at the new members of our council and I am thankful that you have stuck with public service for so long. Thank you. And here's to passing renter legislation. Here's to passing the rights of human beings to have shelter, to have roofs over their heads, and no questions asked and not to be gouged out of their savings. Hear, hear.
Here,
Merry
here.
Christmas.
Thank
Happy
you, Chris.
holidays.
So I think you want to introduce our delegate from District 20, Laura Charkoudian.
Little
I
quail.
do. Well, I introduced Laura because she was one of the first people that I campaigned for outside a voting place in Montgomery County. And I met not just her, but I met a lot of the people who stick with her, who work with her, and I was mightily impressed. You can always tell the quality of a human being by the friends that they attract, by the people who speak highly of them and who speak less highly of them, know them. But fortunately, I had an introduction to her that is edifying, and I'm happy to introduce State Delegate Laura Charkoudian, a progressive of strong stripe, and thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. That's I'm honored to have that introduction, have you in particular introduce me. And thank you all for all of your extraordinary work. I guess the advantage of going at the end is I can sort of ditto what a lot of people have said. So what I really want to say is, we want to celebrate these extraordinary victories we've had. We've talked about some of the victories at the state level. We've talked about some of the victories at the county level, victories in who we've elected that are going to be extraordinary advocates for renters. There's smaller victories that we've had that I've had working closely with Matt and with Renters Alliance and with many of you advocating around specific buildings and specific issues within those buildings. We've had quieter regulatory victories. So we've had a lot of big victories, and we've had those victories because of you and because of people's movements. And so we have a long way to go. That's been said. I am in it for the long haul with all of you, but ultimately it is people's movements that have gotten us this far, and that is all of you, Renters Alliance and the other organizations working on these issues. And it is people's movements that will get us to justice. And so I am toasting to people's movements tonight.
Cheers. Thank you, Laura.
And I have not been assigned who I'm supposed to hand it to.
No, that's all right. We're
No,
rocking and rolling.
okay.
We inserted you there. And I gotta congratulate you, as I do a number of people on this call, since I saw you, I think 6:30 this morning. So we're going strong here. Congratulations. Thank you. Will, I think we have a tenant activist who needs to be introduced if she's still with us.
Absolutely. Happy to introduce our next speaker, our tenant activist and a great friend as well, Sabria Still. Hey, Sabria. Good to see you. You are up.
Is she with us still?
She's right there.
Yes,
Yep.
I am here. Yes. Hi, everyone. I am a longtime Montgomery County resident and state. Love the county, love the state. Love seeing all of the familiar faces when I worked in Annapolis, and more recently the county council with Councilmember Jawando. I had the honor, I think, of moving into Main Street, which is right across the street from Rockville Metro. And I have been fighting for parking and 51 Monroe, like just this big, commercial space that is definitely not at 100% capacity. So I'm really like a root cause advocate, and I'm like, well, it's zoning ordinances. And so I'm really trying to get to the root cause of that, and ran into Matt more recently when the governor-elect and lieutenant governor-elect had their rally in Montgomery County. And the first thing he said was, do you have a tenants association? And I was like, no, but I remember you from Councilmember Jawando's office, so I know you're gonna help me do that. And so literally we had a call this week with Melik, and we're trucking along to form a tenants association at Main Street Apartments, and also really fighting for parking and just representation for low-income residents, as well as renters who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. Sorry, guys, it's Friday, holidays, COVID. So I've had a really great honor to do that. I'm also on Maryland Inclusive Housing's board with Jillian Copeland. She created a board to expand more housing for affordable housing for individuals with disabilities. So I get to, represent African-American people. And I don't have a disability, but I empathize and have compassion for people. So I want to be there and represent and make sure that those people have representation as well. And Matt, I let you know that council member Martin Mitchell in Laurel is trying to put together a housing symposium for MLK Day weekend. So all of these conversations and people, we really want, all of us to be able to be at the table and have this conversation. Laurel is pretty awesome. There's 4 counties that the city touches. And so really just happy to be here, and cheers to all of you. And I see the lovely council member, Lorianne Sells, who's been a pretty big advocate to me and has encouraged me to run for office when I was not ready. I am going to do it though. I will not let you down.
We like to think of ourselves as the farm team for the future elected officials of Montgomery County and the state. So I think that's a good introduction for council member Lorianne Sales.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for having me here, Matt.
Cheers.
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 And I will follow Sabria. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's so good to see so many fellow advocates and friends on this Zoom, colleagues. So honored to be with you all this evening. We don't need to be reminded about how terrible these last 4 years have been, from, our issues with affordable rents, and then during the pandemic when people were losing their jobs. And it was mostly women who were let go from the workforce because they had to stay home with their children. And we found those statistics based on the number of unemployment applications that people took out. And so as we're thinking about the recovery of renters, and thinking about how important it is to have a roof over your head, especially during these times, if you've been outside, just thinking that someone in our community is dealing with this weather, sleeping in the corner of a bus stop when we have a $6.5 billion budget. We have, resources here that can either increase rental assistance or actually put legislation through that will stabilize rents that are sometimes they are from upwards of 3% to some people are saying 20%. We're seeing the price gouging and our residents are suffering. And so I'm grateful that our county has access to these powerful advocates all throughout the county, having come from the city of Gaithersburg. I met Matt because a resident reached out to this organization to receive assistance. And so had there not been this resource, it's not always easy to find someone in the Department of Social Services. But Matt said, I'm going to put you in touch with someone who's going to advocate for you. I'm going to reach out to our partners at the state to ensure that this resident gets taken care of. These are the champions we need to celebrate, but he couldn't do it without all of these incredible volunteers and advocates, elected officials and community leaders at the state and in our community. And so I'm just grateful to have this resource in the community. I'm grateful for your dedication, your tireless work, Matt. It's all about who's leading the ship, and you are steering these renters in the right direction. And we're so grateful for your organization. And so that's what I want to cheers to tonight, because it's because of organizers that there's now a 6-woman majority in this county. And so I'm just really grateful for all the organizers, all the laborers, and just know that you have some really fierce advocates that hear you, that see you, and that are right here with you. And so just grateful to all of my sisters on the council and at the state, and grateful for the fearless leaders that are part of this organization. So cheers to organizing, and cheers to each and every one of you.
Cheers to you.
Absolutely. Cheers
for
to
the-
you.
For the future of
Cheers
the
to you,
council.
council member.
We have our faith in you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great to see you.
And by the
Councilmember
way,
Sales.
to your terrific parents that I had a pleasure to meet the other night, they're wonderful. I can see where they get it, where you get it from.
Thank you, Matt. All right, everyone. Good evening.
All right.
Good
Have a
evening.
great evening.
And congratulations to the co-chair of the Westmore Housing Policy Committee. We are so excited to have one of our own representing us at the state level. And I would be remiss if I did not talk about our regional leader, Kate Stewart, who is leading the region as president.
Amazing.
Maryland is doing very well, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much, Lori, and I appreciate it. I'm happy to take up the collective work and voices and organizing that you were talking about here to work with our fantastic Lieutenant Governor and governor as they get their administration rolling on issues of affordable housing and tenants' rights. So appreciate that.
And one more, because I would really
Council members' prerogative.
if I did not shout out our new co-chair of the Maryland delegation. So excited for this new team and looking forward to everyone's partnership and leadership. Delegate Charkoudian, thank you for helping me with my team. I'm just, this is an incredible powerhouse room. So thank you to everyone. Take care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Matt, I'm going to kick it back to you because I know we are in the rocking and rolling period. I know.
Well, I want to kick it to one of the champions from the beginning. When we started this back in 2007, a bunch of tenants got together and created a petition that we sent to the county executive and the council urging that we focus on renters' rights. We wanted to end month-to-month fees. We wanted to implement rent stabilization and just cause eviction and form a task force to look into renter issues. And that task force was called the Tenants Work Group. And one of my colleagues in the beginning who worked on this issue was a renter activist and an activist in many ways herself, and is now the head of the Willow Manor Residents Council, Maureen Ross. Maureen, you want to give us a 1 or 2 minute toast? We're at the end here, but we know you're a powerhouse. Wait, you got to unmute yourself, Maureen. It's this newfangled Zoom stuff. There you go.
Yeah, Maureen, we love you.
Hi, everybody. I am really thrilled to be part of your group. We're working hard here at the Manor to organize and put seniors in the forefront and identify what life is like for seniors and what are the kinds of things that we need. Unfortunately, you don't know till you get to be a senior. And so we hope to leave a legacy that walks through what seniors' needs are as we walk down life in a different way. So that's what we're doing here. I want to thank Matt. Gave him a call, haven't talked in years, and it was just old friendship and a lot of support. So thanks a lot, and the toast is to all of you. You've been there. Keep it up.
And we toast you too, Maureen. Thank you for your leadership. You never stop. Cheers. And now we'll do a quick one. We have, we represent many people across Montgomery County of all ethnicities, every part of the geography, every part of the economic spectrum, every ethnicity that there is, every language that there is. And with us tonight also is our full-time outreach coordinator, Dave Mullins, who is fluent in Spanish and deals with our Spanish community directly when my bad Spanish doesn't work. David, give us a toast in Spanish, please.
Well, I'll translate and do English and Spanish here. Buenas tardes a todos. No sé si alguien está escuchando en español. I don't know if anyone's listening in Spanish, right? A Spanish speaker, but I see a couple here, I think, on screen. But yo quise dar un agradecido y un saludos a mi compañero Salvador. No sé si él está escuchando. I wanted to give a toast to my compañero Salvador, a renter champion. I don't know if he's on listening, but I don't think he made it to the panelists. But I want to say it's been a really amazing opportunity to connect with so many of you individually, talking about your individual cases. That's how I met Salvador. Estoy muy agradecido para conectar con ustedes en sus propios casos. Es como conecté a Salvador. But the toast I want to give is I've been loving meeting with y'all as tenants associations and people trying to form them, like we're trying to do here, where we live, and it's the ups and the downs. And that's really, the time and effort that goes into that, and y'all welcoming me into that process. For those of you, I see some Spring Park folks on here. It's meant a lot to me. And so gracias también a las comunidades de apartamentos de edificios específicos, creyendo su propio asociación, su propio grupo de inquilinos para pelear más para sus derechos. And so, yeah, a toast to those, organizing, and to the new year and success in that.
Salud. Now I know we're going on a little bit long, and I'm only going to keep us on for one more minute or so before our board chair wraps it up. But I see a couple of people that I want to particularly recognize and give a moment to. In particular, one of our board chairs, Brandy Brooks, who's been a tireless advocate for our renters, has been a tireless advocate for progressive groups. And we're really thrilled to have her. Brandy, give us a minute toast, will you?
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll be quick. I just love seeing from across our county, from across our state, so many folks who continue to be committed to renters' rights. And I really do want to highlight our advocates. It's your leadership in each one of your buildings, as you form tenant associations, as you fight, as you share your experiences. Thank you. You all are amazing, and you are the core of what makes the Renters Alliance work. So I just want to salute all of our renters advocates with an amazing toast. I know we've got folks from the Sanctuary, Pat Beckham, Kathy Wright, Maureen Ross, Victoria Price, Melek Demir, let's see, Lindsay Bowie, Sabrina Still, Charlotte who I know hasn't been able to come off of mute. All of you. It's what you do in your buildings to fight for your rights that makes what we do work. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Exactly right. There you go. An example of how we give a toast.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's terrific. William Roberts, will you close us out? And Kathy Wright, thank you. You're an auxiliary toaster. We didn't need you tonight, but we love your face. And thank you. William.
Good to see everyone. Thanks. Absolutely. So this is fantastic. This is really fun. And every year that we've done this, as we're planning it, we always, through COVID say, oh, we really miss, the opportunity to be together like we used to do building communities back in the day. And we're going to do that in the years to come. But as we sit through these and really enjoy it, it always really comforts me to enjoy having fun with you all on Zoom. Through what has been a challenging time over these now 3 years of and beyond before, right? All the work that went into the advocacy and organizing and action that so many have talked about over the years through the Renters Alliance and through your individual tenant associations. And, makes me think of just where we've come from, right? And where we need to go on these issues. Sometimes this work can be really tough, right? We are talking about the ability, as we've heard, for folks to have a roof over their head and the impact on their lives and their families and their communities. Sometimes we are not able to get the help to folks that we need before they need it, right? And so oftentimes we are trying to catch up to folks who are finding themselves in the worst possible circumstance, about to lose their homes. But we always persevere. We always move forward and sort of do battle with where we're standing. I think of that Audre Lorde quote that talks about not being able to choose the time or the arena of your revolution, but doing battle with where you're standing, right? And for the last 3 years and the years before that, the community represented here has been literally doing positive battle, where we've been standing in your buildings in our communities to try to move closer to that kind of community that we want to build through policy and advocacy, education, and community. And so as we go into the next year, that's sort of the spirit that I'm taking with me around this work, the community that we've created here, and the work that we're going to keep doing together to get to that place where we need to be. And I know we're going to get there. So I just want to thank everyone on behalf of the Renters Alliance. I want to thank Matt and Chris and Brandy and our other board colleagues, Josh, Vaughn, Janelle, all the staff and team that you've seen here, Pat, Melek, David, and all of you for all the work, all the friendship and partnership. And so a toast to your health, to a safe and blessed holiday season where hopefully folks can rest. Did I say rest? Rest over this holiday season. I know that we are folks here who don't like to rest, but we got to rest, got to recover, and look forward to the work ahead. So thank you all. Have a happy holiday season and have a great night.
And you all are terrific for coming with us tonight. Much appreciated.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Cheers.
Thank you all. And thank you again, Matt, for
Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Happy holidays,
Yes.
everyone.
Happy New Year. Blessed end of the
Bye,
year for
everyone.
all.
Yes.
All right.
You're all great.
Bye-bye.
Feliz Año
Bye.
Nuevo, todos.
Merry
Feliz
Christmas.
Año Nuevo.
Feliz